investors making when they first get started with their real estate investments. And this is a good one. I would say that it's hands the number one way that we probably can deceive ourselves when we're just starting out, and also the number one way that we can also, once we get past it, make the best returns that would ever be possible. Okay, and what I call this one right now is just getting started thinking that you have to own property in order to monetize it. Okay, this is similar to our number one mistake, really. Actually, number two mistake, but it's different as well. You see, let me explain. I'll tell you a story about a time when I invited some guests over for dinner at my place. And, I love and love and love to, really do stuff when it comes to, like, baking the kitchen. I love baking cakes, always loved baking cakes. And so I decided I'm going to make the dessert. So I went about getting all the ingredients, or rushing off to the shop, buying all the ingredients for the dessert, as well as, of course, I was making the main meal. I said I'm going to do the dessert. It's going to be my pièce de résistance, as they call it. But so I took time. You guys will know. Look, if you know how to bake, you'll know dessert can sometimes take quite a bit of time to put together. And I decided I'm going to do it was a triple layer mud pie, I think it was. So it had triple layers of chocolate, a base, and triple layers of multicolored chocolate. Now, the thing came out great, but of course, me as the amateur baker that I am would never have created it like a 5-star, or a 3-star Michelin chef would have, right? But I still felt proud of myself. Now, the thing about it, though, that I realized the next time I invited people to dinner, I realized that the best thing to do, you know what, rather than spending 3 hours trying to put together a dessert that at the end will just flop on me, I mean, even if it tastes delicious, would not look like those clean lines that you will see in the bakery. I said I just go and buy a cake from the bakery. These guys they've perfected their art. They've been doing this for years, and guess what? They're able to do it in less time, and I was able to save myself the time. So in a word, I outsourced. Okay, so I went and I bought. In fact, what I did, I was able to then choose a range of different desserts. A little apple custard pie, a little bit of a strawberry, dessert. Oh, it was not really, really good. A bit of a, like, mini cheesecakes. Now, if I tried to do all those myself, would I have been able? I would not have been able to get that done in the amount of time, right? So because of that, and by the way, my guests loved them, and they had no idea that these were purchased desserts. Guess what? I just put them out on my dessert platter, and they were such a hit. You know what I mean? So this actually taught me something really, really major. That when we first get started in real estate, what we like to do is to take it all on. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the person to buy that property. I'm going to be the person to furnish it and rent it out. I'm going to be the person to buy that greenhouse, ensure things are planted and grown. I'm going to be the person to get into that farming. The thing is, you don't have to be a jack of all trades when it comes to real estate. You can literally outsource the ownership and management of that property. You can outsource and just be the person that gets the cash flow. You know what I mean? So outsource the ownership and you do the management. You can outsource a lot of things, and that means your what you need to put down as capital will be much, much less. Think of it as being able then to pick and choose any type of property, just the way I was able to pick and choose any type of dessert, right? I just pick and choose, and that literally takes me 1 second for each dessert that I pick and choose. Yet if I'd made them, that would have taken me 2 to 3 hours for each single dessert, right? And that's the beauty of being able to get started as a newbie. And this is really gonna also feed into the next things we're going to talk about that make a difference when it comes to just getting going. So be sure to tune in tomorrow and the rest of the days that we're on to hear more about what we're talking about. Okay, it's actually this is number 5, and we have 5 more to go, and they're going to be good. Because one thing you realize is that you can make a mistake at every single step of the way. Okay, you can make a mistake in the beginning, in the middle, at the end. You can make a mistake throughout. So each step of the way, since it's such a critical time, you want to be sure that you're advancing in the right way. And that's why being able to outsource a lot of these things that we've always felt that we need to own. And look, a lot of times this is things our parents have taught us growing up, that okay, yes, buy that land, build on it, It's for example the way we mistake number two, which was wanting to build before you get like starting too big, starting with building and everything. Very similar. You don't have to build something in order to benefit from it. You don't have to build something in order to get it at a great rate that will give you an amazing return. This is an example. A couple of you, like I'm going to use Kenya as an example, Nairobi, for example, for those who might know the area. If you rent out a 2-bedroom apartment in the Kilimani area or Kileleshwa area, it'll probably right now maybe cost you between about $600 equivalent, right? $600, $700. However, if you buy the same property, it's going to cost you anything upwards of $200,000 to buy, right? Now, when you calculate that down to your monthly rental, your monthly mortgage payment, normally if you get a 200,000 loan, I'm not going to calculate here, but I did do that math recently on a call with one of my clients, and a $200,000 property on a 15-year mortgage at a rate of maybe 10%, you are literally going to be paying about 200,000, pretty much. 200,000 Kenyan shillings or $2,000 a month. Just about. This is the average. This is like an estimate that I can literally, you can quickly go on an online calculator and check it yourself. It will be around that much. $2,000 give or take a couple of $2,000 give or take a couple of hundred. Now, you could have rented that same property at 60 or 70,000 US. At 600 or 700 US. Sorry for the mix up with currencies. You could have rented from a landlord when you've outsourced the ownership. You could have rented it at 600 or 700 US. But when you decide to buy it, guess what? You're going to be paying down that mortgage for 2,000 plus US every single month. Now, of course, there's a benefit that yes, you're paying down a capital investment. You are going to end up owning it. That's great. That's great. But when you're just starting out, can you really afford that $2,000 mortgage? Would you just instead like to know that you can get a cash flow from this property? Because look at the same property and perhaps decide that you're going to do short-term rentals on it and rent out each room for $50 a night, which means when both rooms are rented, it's $100 a night. In order to pay back the rent on this property, all you need to do is rent it out for 6 nights. Then the rest of it would be profit. And you guys might know that when you have 15% 15 days out of 30 occupied. On average, you can expect about 50% average occupancy in most cities, major cities, whether in Africa or globally. This is like a standard rate that you'll see, a standard expectation that you can really take to the bank. So at 50% occupancy, it means that your property would be able to earn you, let's say, about $1,500, right? That's 15 days at $100 a day. Then you subtract your $600 rent, and there you have about $700 to put in your pocket, right? Of course, with your mortgage, what's going to happen is you're going to have to top up. You're making $1,500, so you're going to have to top up $500. So it's actually taking out of pocket. Sure, you're getting the benefit of having the capital expense, but you know what? We're not going to talk about that right now. We're talking about how you can get started getting cash flow from property. Because guess what? After a year of putting extra $700 in your pocket, how well placed do you think you'd be to actually go and buy something without needing to buy it with a mortgage, or without needing to put out such a huge monthly amount? Maybe you get a lower mortgage, So this is just looking at it in a different way, and I hope that this has also made you think a bit about some of the possibilities, because that's exactly what I'd like to do. Again, we're going to keep chatting about the next. We have 5 more to go, guys, so do check in. As always, I'm streaming this to my page and to our group. It's on our group or via Messenger that you can reach out and ask a question, right? And they will get answered. I actually had a couple of questions come through already. There's one gentleman that was asking, what is the most important thing that could really help him get started? What's the biggest mistake to avoid when it comes to just getting started in real estate? And you know what? I'm going to ask you guys to vote on that. I'm going to put a poll in my group and ask, what do you guys think would be the most important mistake, the biggest mistake to avoid out of all this? Okay, so that you guys I can actually hear your feedback on that. And that poll is going to be again on my Facebook page and also on my Facebook group. But so do jump in. I will make sure to put a link to both of these in the comments. But generally, to get your questions answered, be sure to join in the group, which is through jacquelinesuma.com/ join in group, right? So hope you're having a great Labor Day, by the way, and we'll be sure to catch each other again tomorrow, right? As always, if you know a friend who'd love to be in on these discussions, please tag them in the comments or share this with them or invite them to join our group. Okay. Have a great one, guys. Bye bye.